space exploration has had a big impact on the way people live. A lot of the technology that we use in everyday products was invented to solve some problem for space exploration.
The obvious to more metaphorical, I think, pictures like Earthrise taken by the Apollo astronauts of the Earth rising behind the moon, and the pale blue dot image taken by the Voyager spacecraft leaving the solar system showing all of humanity on a single pixel have really shifted the way we view ourselves and the planet.
I think lately there has been like a rise in the interest in continuing space exploration with the rise of like companies like SpaceX.
We should be careful when exploring outside worlds, not to pollute them or harm them in any way, because we understand so little about our Earth, even though we've lived here for so long, that it's very easy to imagine human interaction on a planet that's not normally have human interaction for it to go awry.
Perhaps under certain conditions, and certainly in the past, it might have been habitable. At least that's what we think.
On a planetary scale, Mars is a nudge away from being habitable, and it's possible that in the past, Mars was habitable.
I think human exploration of space is like a noble feat within itself in order to benefit the mankind.
I think it's great. I think the one-year mission at the International Space Station that was recently wrapped up shows that people can live in space for a continuous year.
But so it would, for me, it would be really interesting on like the politics that would go with how to divide this whole new planet, because like Mars is not like going to a new continent, it's a lot bigger.
There is the philosophical question, I guess, should we be colonizing Mars? I think partly it's in our nature, we should.
I think going out into space is a sort of acknowledgement of that side, that we do have the potential to have Earth just be one of many planets in our future.
And Mars does not fill this role of being a place that humans can live and thrive.
The government probably have a significant influence and be the sole motivating factor for most space travel. Space travel itself is not economically viable.
It would be expensive and difficult. It's possible. Living planets are better than dead ones.
It would be private land, would be from the United States, would be public, I don't know. I'm mostly curious about how it would affect like our relationships with each other.
Drawing on science fiction, it could either be utopic or dystopic. A utopian society or a dystopian one. Who would govern, who would be in charge of government on Mars?
At first, I think people would definitely rally behind the first Mars explorers as kind of a image of what is possible through humankind. As more and more people start living on Mars, it might start to be thought of as maybe a distance from this place, but until maybe most people know someone who's on Mars, it'll just be kind of, you know, the people who go to Mars will be our celebrities.
Mostly you have to find the biggest group possible to do such a risky mission, because it's already really dangerous. So you have to make it as nice to them as possible, I guess.
The two organizations that do have a decent path to actually do this are NASA and SpaceX, and both of them are planning to at least give people the option of coming back.
It's a new type of distance, a new type of loneliness for whoever will go to Mars first. So you'll have to choose people who are, you know, most sound and most able and willing to explore new places to the very extreme of what is possible.
Living and sustainably on the planet, I think that is going to be so difficult to do people will recognize that Earth is a very special place that has allowed for evolution of life.
A whole lot of medical aspects of just life on Mars that people will not yet understand. So definitely the first Martians should be a cautionary tale.
There should be some kind of like international space station way to do it. So it's like international land.
You want to pile soil on top of your shelter to protect from radiation, because Mars' atmosphere is thin, and so the galactic cosmic rays that our atmosphere and to a lesser extent our magnetic field shields us from, they get to the surface of Mars.
I mean, is there anything unique about Martian resources that you wouldn't be able to obtain here on Earth? And I don't think there is anything particularly useful for human survival.
Well, I think the first thing we need to do, I think the Europeans are more on top of this, is recognize what the problem is, stop with the blame.
Well, the Earth's not sustainable. The sun is gradually brightening, and in a time that is short compared to the lifetime of the sun, the Earth will go into a runaway greenhouse and the oceans will disappear into space. So that will happen without any human intervention. When you say sustainable, I guess the question is for how long?
People wouldn't forget about the Earth. People like to stay in what they know, like what they feel comfortable with. So, like people have trouble moving to a new house, moving to a new planet is a whole new thing.
We will need to live on Earth for some time. For the time being, this is the only habitable planet for us within the solar system at the moment.
Science changes one funeral at a time, and there are some people who will never accept this, that things have changed and humans have had this huge influence on the planet and we need to deal with this. But I think the kids will come along and recognize that they didn't make this problem, but they're going to have to deal with this problem.
Maybe things like space exploration will help bring out the best of us, the best in us.
A group of people who are staying on Mars colony are staying, like Jamestown or something. They went there with the idea of staying there. I think that's so far away that I think that we have to address issues on Earth now. I think it's decades and decades and decades away. It's maybe 50 years away, the colonization. Because, again, it was 1968 when we were on the moon. And then we don't go back for 50 years.
If people change, like the cultures from people change so drastically from country to country, it would be interesting to see from planet to planet.
I think no matter how much you change Mars or how much technology you have to make Mars more habitable, living on Earth will always be an easier method for a large amount of time to come.